Everyone, welcome. Welcome to another day. We're just going to do a little reading. You've been liking the Neville Goddard reading. Remember, on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist. I have a few playlists that is the reading, me reading every single chapter, reading this whole book of The Power of Awareness, as well as Awakened Imagination. And I believe there might be another Neville Goddard book on there. But if you were interested, I know somebody in the comments asked if this was going to be the next book that I read. I've already read it. I've already read the whole thing. There's already videos on it. So you can check my playlists on my YouTube channel for Neville Goddard, The Power of Awareness and Awakened Imagination. Those are fun. That's a nice playlist there. I really get into it. I teach a lot. I think they're longer videos. I did them a couple years ago, but they're fantastic. But this is chapter 10 from The Power of Awareness, and it says, creation is finished. That's how it opens up with. Creation is finished. Creativeness is only a deeper receptiveness for the entire contents of all time and all space, while experienced in a time sequence actually coexist in an infinite and eternal now. That's a heavy-hitting opening statement. But the first sentence, creation is finished, period. Those three words. That's how this chapter opens up. Creation is finished. Creativeness is only a deeper receptiveness for the entire contents of all time and all space, while experienced in a time sequence, actually coexist in an infinite eternal now. In other words, all that you have ever been or ever will be, in fact, all that mankind ever was or ever will be, exists now. There is no time. That's an illusion. Everything, what is that movie? Everything happening all at once right now? I'm botching it. That's not the title, but it's the theory. Is it the theory of everything? I think that's something separate, but everything is happening all at once right here, right now. In every dimension and timeline, we are only consciously aware of what we're experiencing in this moment, but past, present, future, everything is happening right now. So he's saying, in other words, all that you have ever been or ever will be, all that mankind was or ever will be, exists right now. That is what is meant by creation, and the statement that creation is finished means that nothing is ever to be created. It is only to be manifested. Okay? Basically, every single thing in our physical universe, like creation is finished, like Big Bang, boom, this whole universe, according to, theorists, the Big Bang, that's everything stemmed from the Big Bang. Every ingredient that could have ever created anything that has ever been created, ever will be created, is being created right now. All of the ingredients are already here. Creation is finished. There is nothing going to be new under the sun. There is not going to be we might discover something new that we didn't know, but there is never going to be a new element that has not existed before. Creation is finished. Every single thing that we have created, that we will create, will consist of us taking what already is and making, like as Napoleon Hill says, synthetic imagination. Well, we can have creative imagination and create something that's never been done, but taking what already is and putting it, rearranging it in different orders to create something new. I don't know where my phone is. I think it's in my purse. But pretend, oh, well, this is my iPad, right? Like, no, remember, look at that. Inside Talk Show. This was my old little talk show. I used to have Inside Talk Show up here. You'll see that little circle on my old videos. I think my Neville Goddard videos, I had Inside Talk Show. That's what this channel used to be called. Inside Talk Show. It's an inside job. I love that. Anyways, this is my iPad. Older. Oldie but goodie. She just does the job. Look at her. Did you know for so long, you guys, for so long, when I bought this cover for my iPad, I thought it was broken. I was like, oh my God, I got a ripped one. I didn't know that opens up for the what a ding dong. I'm such a ding dong. I thought I got a broken one. I had this, I'm not kidding you. I got this in 2020. It was like last year. It took me 4 years to realize that this was open up for the camera lens. What a ding dong. Anyways, okay. So I always usually hold up my phone, but this is an iPad, right? When they say creation is finished, Jesus could have had an iPad. Jesus, the dinosaurs could have had an iPad. Every single thing that it took to create this iPad and the iPad cover existed back in the day. Like ancient Egyptians could have had an iPad. Every single thing that it took to create and build this iPad existed on the planet. However, the idea and the need for it was not there. So it was therefore not created. Think about every single thing in this physical universe is like a big cupboard. It's our big kitchen to cook and create anything we want from. Everything is here. That's when they say, anything is possible. It truly is. You just have to know where to get each element to create the idea or the outcome that you want. I hope that made sense. So creation is finished. Every single thing that we need to, because we're not really creating, he says. We're just manifesting out of what has already been created. So it's like, it's potentiality. Say we're in a big mansion and there's every bell and whistle, but we want to create a certain party, or we want to create a certain workshop, or we want to create a certain theme. We want to create an event. We just have to move the furniture around, like create or manifest whatever circumstance or experience we want. That's really what we're doing. We're just manifesting experiences. In other words, all that you have ever been or ever will be, all that mankind was or ever will be, exists now. That this is what is meant by creation, and the statement that creation is finished means that nothing is ever to be created. It is only to be manifested. We are only to bring into form out of creation that which we want to experience. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. I'm sure you've heard that before if you're watching something like this. Like, we don't have to try to attract anything or get anything. We already have everything we want, as Abraham Hicks talks about. It's in our vortex or whatever it is. But we have everything we need. We just have, the only thing why we're not experiencing it in our reality is because we have blocks against it. Once we remove the blocks, it pops into our awareness. So it's sitting right outside. So say, if you were, everything that you want is just outside of you energetically, all the potentialities, everything you've ever wanted is right out here. But there's just this layer of beliefs, narratives, and thoughts that are blocking this. So when we remove a negative weed seed, so to speak, boom, what we want can come right in. So we're really not trying to get something. We're trying to release what is blocking the thing that is already there. Because when we have desires, we have dreams and wants and yearnings of the heart. Like, where does that come from, right? Some people say it's from God, like desires, whatever you believe. But like, why do certain people want certain things? Where's that coming from? It's because they say, it's already yours in some time or dimension or reality. Like, it's a potentiality because you have it already. It's just you don't have it manifested. Whatever idea we have, we already have it because it's an idea. Thoughts are things. We already actually have it. It's just an idea until we manifest it into this physical realm. But what is the chasm? What is the block? What's the space between us having it in imagination, having it in our thoughts, and then having it where I can show you, hey, look, I actually physically have it in manifested form? That's what he's talking about. It's that space between. It's removing anything that blocks us, persisting in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Will draw it towards us. It'll eliminate anything that isn't that, right? Okay. What is called creativeness is only becoming aware of what already is. You simply become aware. I was like, am I on mute? That would have been terrible. You simply become aware of increasing proportions of that which already exists. You simply become aware of increasing proportions. No, you simply become aware of increasing portions of that which already exists. The fact that you can never be anything that you are not already or experience anything not already existing explains the experience of having an acute feeling of having heard before what is being said, or having met before the person being met for the first time, or having seen before a place or thing being seen for the first time. Let me read that again. It says, the fact that you can never, oh wait, you simply become aware of increasing portions of that which already exists. So say we have all of life experience was like a puzzle, right? Think about it as a complete puzzle, an image of it's everything, the puzzle of everything. And we think that we have to create the puzzle piece. It's already there. It's already there. We have the whole picture, but we think we have to create it. It's already created. We just have to become aware that we already have it. Wow, that's just too much right there. Okay. The whole of creation exists in you, and it is your destiny to become increasingly aware of its infinite wonders and to experience ever greater and grander portions of it. If creation is finished and all events are taking place now, the question that springs naturally to mind is, what determines your time track? That is, what determines the events which you encounter? And the answer is your concept of yourself. Remember how I just said, like, everything is outside of us, everything we want, and then there's this layer of beliefs. It's our self-image. Our self-image will bring things into our awareness or it'll block things out of our awareness. Ooh, there's a really great animation that I made for the Napoleon Hill Institute. It's part of their disruptor phase of the mentorship program. And it shows this, I did like a rectangle to encompass our self-image. And so say you have a self-image, and if an idea does not fall into what you believe is true for yourself and it lays just outside of it, like, well, that's not for me. It's not a part of your self-image. It will never come into your experience. That's why we have to expand our self-image to include that thing in it. Why do we think that we are worthy, capable, deserving of certain things and not of others? It's because of our self-image. It's the narrative, it's the story that we tell ourselves. It's the beliefs and the thoughts and the cognitions, good or bad, good and bad. They're made up of both. But whatever your self-concept, your self-image is, will determine what comes into your life. That's what he's saying. He says the whole of creation exists in you, and it is your destiny to become increasingly aware of its infinite wonders and to experience ever greater and grander portions of it. But if creation is finished and all events are taking place now, what determines my time track? What determines the events I encounter? The answer is your concept of yourself. Concepts determine the route that attention follows. Here is a good test to prove this fact. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and observe the route that your attention follows. You will observe that as long as you remain faithful to your assumption, so long will your attention be confronted with images clearly related to that assumption. For example, if you assume that you have a wonderful business, you will notice how, in your imagination, your attention is focused on incident after incident relating to that assumption. Friends congratulate you, tell you how lucky you are. Others are envious and critical. From there, your attention goes to larger offices, bigger bank balances, and many other similarly related events. Persistence in this assumption will result in actually experiencing, in fact, that which you assumed. So that goes into the law of assumption and self-concept. What are you assuming to be true about you in your life? When you think about your wish, where you want to be, what you do want to manifest, it's not physically here in your existence, in your experience right now, but something you want to be. You're starting a business and you're assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. My business is so successful. No, it's not. Look at you. You just started. You don't even have any customers. We focus on the end. We think from our goal, a successful business, rather than thinking of our successful business. So I am already in my successful business. It feels so good. I can hear the people congratulating me. I'm assuming, I'm seeing, I'm dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and the assumption, and that's what will bring it to me, as opposed to, I'm sure he's going to get into it. We can finish that tomorrow, but let's see. Oh, This is the wrong page, sister. Oh, did I close it? I did. How fun. The answer is your concept of yourself. Concepts determine the route that attention follows. Okay, so for example, assume that you have a wonderful business. You will notice how in your imagination your attention is focused on incident after incident relating to that assumption. Friends congratulate you, bigger bank accounts, bigger offices. Um, Persistence in this assumption will result in actually experiencing, in fact, that which you assume. The same is true regarding any concept. If your concept of yourself is that you are a failure and you would encounter in your imagination a whole series of incidents of conformance to that concept. Thus, it is clearly seen how you, by your concept of yourself, determine your present, that is, the particular portion of the creation which you now experience, and your future, that is, the particular portion of creation which you will experience. So he says it's clear. By your concept of yourself, you will determine your present, whatever portion of reality, right? Because creation is all that is. And we have access to all of it, but we're just experiencing one little portion at a time. Well, what determines what portion we're experiencing? How we think about ourselves, what we're assuming to be true. It's like, what did I say yesterday? I think I quoted Dr. Joe Dispenza when he says, if you ever want to predict the future, create it, rehearse it in your mind. How will the rest of April go? How will the rest of 2025 go? I don't know how it's going to go. I've learned this, and I don't care how crazy I sound anymore. I'm very vigilant now of like, I will never say that I hope that 2025 goes well, or I don't know how it's going to go. Seriously? Absolutely not. I have already scripted and I'm imagining every single day and listening to my apps and auto suggestions and writing it down and talking to people, my mastermind members about it. Like I am dictating, commanding, and demanding. Those are some strong words. And Napoleon Hill talks about that in Outwitting the Devil. We're reading that in the Study and Grow Rich program. And all the information is below if you ever want to join any of these programs or just book a call with me and I'll share with you all of these things because it's like I mean, this is not a full-time job, but it's a full immersion. I live, eat, breathe, sleep this stuff. Like it's my addiction because I know what it's like to not have this in my life and how unfulfilled and chaotic I feel. So anyways, this is my emotional sobriety. But in Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill talks about drifters or leaders. Like, are you a drifter or you're a leader? You're either one or another. Are you a drifter? Willy-nilly? I hope it goes well. Or are you a leader? You know exactly where you're going. You are dictating where you're going. And that can seem like, well, that's pompous, Carla. Like, what are you, God? Like, it's like, yeah, we really have to assume that we are in that sense. Of course, whatever your relationship is with your higher power, I certainly have one. And I believe it's a co-creation process, but God can't do anything for us that he can't do through, like what we're not willing to do. It's like pray and move your feet. We have to do our part. We have to take action. It's like that, guy who was in the flood and he's like, God will provide, God will do everything for me. And then he dies and he's like, God, I prayed. He goes, well, I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. I sent you a raft. Like you gotta do it, buddy. You gotta take some action. Um, but anyways, so never be caught not knowing. And if you have up to this point, that's how we're programmed, right? I was definitely that person. So don't blame or shame or condemn yourself. But just like from here on out, you dictate how your weekend's gonna go. You dictate how the rest of your year is gonna go. Decide. How do you want it to be? How do you want your life to be? How do you want your body to be? How do you want your finances to be? How do you want your career to be? How do you want your relationships to be? Decide right now. Write it down. Read it every day. Listen to it. Record it. Listen to it every day. It's really powerful. It works. It works. It works. And it does seem weird and a little delusional, but it's delusional living your life in pain and just listening to what everybody else says. That's delusional. This path isn't easy. People judge it. People think you're crazy. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. I do not care. Trust me. It's not my first rodeo. I've been there, done that. That's what I've had a couple comments like, how do you have such conviction? It's like, because I've lived it, it's experience. It's not just theory or like I know somebody who says this is really cool stuff. No, like I've been through hell, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And ain't no one wants to go back there. So, anywho, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, all of the other readings of Neville Goddard are on my playlist on my YouTube channel. And if you're interested in working with me in any capacity, all of the information is in the description box below. If you're on Facebook, hop on over to YouTube. We're growing our community, and I'm so grateful for all your support. I am going to have a lovely walk. It's a beautiful evening. It is hot. It is like 90 degrees, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm such a lizard. I'm such a desert creature. All right. I hope you have a beautiful evening, beautiful weekend. I will see you tomorrow.